Say hello to the Sony Xperia XA Ultra, the last of the X line to stumble upon our doorstep. It's a gigantic 6-incher encased within a metal frame with a pronounced, high-resolution selfie camera with flash and featuring some pretty decent hardware underneath. With a $369 sticker price, however, our prodding and nudging best reveals some unexpected strengths, lest it follows its brethren into the strictly average category. This is Chris with PhoneArena. Let's find out if it does. Beyond its gigantic dimensions, the XA Ultra is yet another familiar Sony face built on the principles of its rectangular design philosophy. The phone is protected by a solid metal frame with the display up front almost floating out of it thanks to those extra slim side bezels. The rest of the phone is made out of polycarbonate. On the right, Sony has cleverly positioned the volume rocker and power key, both of which are easily accessible even when you're holding this monster phone with just one hand. Not only is the Ultra 6-inch 1080x1920 resolution display not good, it's actually downright disappointing. We start off our unpleasant journey through its properties with an extremely cold core temperature, significantly twisting color reproduction towards blue. Moreover, gamma is average, and overall color accuracy is also off target. That said, brightness at least the XA Ultra has going for it, with a peak of over 600 nits, which is just excellent. In the end, what should be the XA Ultra's defining feature ends up disappointing. Sure, it's very much usable outdoors, but color calibration is seriously not good enough. The Xperia interface on the Ultra feels a bit too familiar by now, but we're still perfectly fine with it. It's down to the point without the excess of questionable features available with the likes of LG and Samsung. Still, those of you looking for a little extra on the side will be happy to know that themes are available with the XA Ultra, and Sony is also letting you conveniently look at apps without venturing into the app drawer by simply swiping down on the screen. More importantly, however, the phone offers a one-handed mode which you easily activate by swiping up from the bottom right corner of the screen. The resulting resized interface can be moved or enlarged depending on what you want. At the heart of the Xperia XA Ultra is MediaTek's lowest-end Helio line processor from 2015, the octa-core Helio P10. Built on a 25nm node, this thing is nevertheless an upper-end solution, and it proved its worth with the XA Ultra as the phablet runs smooth. Paired with that are 3GB of RAM and 16GB of internal storage, with microSD card expansion available if you need up to 200GB more. Anyways, if you're into mobile gaming, take a breath. The XA Ultra is perfectly capable of running any and all titles without breaking a sweat most of the time. From casual, visually simplistic titles down to demanding racing games with great graphics, the phone proved capable enough. Apart from the large display, the other standout feature of the XA Ultra is its camera combo. A 21MP unit adorns the back and serves as your main camera, while a 15MP snapper faces you next to a front LED flash for them selfies you'll be taking. In terms of the software, we're happy to see Sony sticking to a uniform experience, with the camera interface being identical to that available to all Xperia X series devices and pretty close in execution to that of the Z5 family. More importantly, however, image quality with the main camera is up to snuff. In fact, we were very pleasantly surprised, actually expecting yet another problematic Sony camera. Thankfully, the XA Ultra is not that, offering a great level of detail, mostly correct white balance, and little visible noise or other visual aberrations. On the downside, the camera could have been better with a little less color saturation when shooting outside and more light sensitive when indoors. Turning to the selfie snapper, detail is obviously outstanding for a secondary camera, though it seems the unit has quite some trouble managing focus. In result, most of our selfies came out a bit blurry and just unpleasant to look at. Finally, video recording is kept at 1920x1080 pixel resolution and footage is pretty decent in all. Aspects such as dynamic range, color accuracy and especially continuous autofocus speeds, however, leave something to be desired. Not only is the battery of the XA Ultra at just 2700 mAh, but in our experience it is capped at just about a day of usage. Our own proprietary battery testing corroborates this, with the XA Ultra managing 6 hours and 59 minutes, a strictly average score. And if you are thinking, well, battery life might be mediocre, but at least it will probably charge fast? The answer is no. In reality, the XA Ultra requires over 2.5 hours to top off using the included 1.5 Ah charger, and that is a lot. So far with the Xperia X line, Sony has demonstrated great insensitivity to market realities that doomed pretty much the entire line before it was even ready for game time. This makes the Sony Xperia XA Ultra all the more of a pleasant surprise, as it's the one device from the new series that is positioned in a price tier that is neither overcrowded nor incredibly competitive. So long as you're looking for a really big smartphone, There are very few contenders for the Ultra's crown in the $350 to $400 bracket. Perhaps the closest thing Sony has going as far as competition for its Ultra is the 6-inch Galaxy A9 2016. Samsung's massive phablet features highly comparable hardware but much better battery life. Then again, it is nearly $100 more expensive depending on where you shop from. And besides, if you're ready to spend $450 on a large smartphone, you should honestly be considering the OnePlus 3 anyway and sucking up the drop in screen real estate. It's really that much better. In closing, devices as large as the XA Ultra are certainly not our cup of tea, but credit where credit's due. For lovers of humongous smartphones, the Xperia XA Ultra is a great offer at a reasonable price. Once again, this was Chris with PhoneArena. Thank you guys for watching our review.